This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The city of Winnipeg is celebrating a milestone. According to estimates by Statistics Canada, the city's population has surpassed 850,000 people. The mayor says it's a reflection of the confidence people have in Winnipeg. But one migration expert says the estimates might not be an accurate portrayal of the future. CBC's Mike Arsenault explains.
Statistics Canada says, according to new population estimates, Winnipeg is growing.
It comes with great opportunity and it comes with some challenges as well. But, growth is indicative, I believe, of people choosing Winnipeg, choosing to live here, choosing to invest here, choosing to raise their families here.
Stats Canada estimates Winnipeg's population surpassed 850,000 people in 2025, the fifth highest total population increase of any municipality in Canada. Winnipeggers I spoke with say they've noticed the rise in people calling the city home.
It's a lot more hustle and bustle. Even from living here for so many years, you notice there's definitely a lot more people here for sure now than as opposed to back then.
Winnipeg, I think, is kind of outgrowing its reputation as a boring city, both in terms of arts and culture.
One migration expert says we may not want to celebrate growth quite yet. Because of immigration caps, Lori Wilkinson says we could lose more people than we gain in the next couple years.
Not only have we cut back on immigration, the number of people who are actually arriving to Canada, either temporary or permanently, is starting to decline a bit faster than the government had expected.
The Stats Canada numbers show quarterly projections of Manitoba's population, based on data from October to December, dipped by more than 2,000 people in the last quarter of 2025. Wilkinson says international migration accounts for roughly 61% of population growth. She says birth rates also play a role.
Combined with our low fertility rate, and then the fact that people are coming closer, on average, closer to the end of their lives, we are going to see a population decline.
Wilkinson says we are at the tail end of high levels of immigration, and those people are still settling in Winnipeg, which could account for the population boost. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham says he sent a message to his Minneapolis counterpart, offering support as ICE agents continue to march through the streets of Winnipeg's sister city. CBC's Bartley Kivas joins us live in the newsroom this evening. And Bartley, what else did the mayor have to say?
Well, the mayor says he's asked emergency personnel to start working on scenarios to deal with what used to be unthinkable, such as a potential influx of Americans to Canada or supports for families of Canadian military personnel based in Winnipeg if the military is deployed in Canada or overseas.
There's no roadmap to deal with chaos. And what we're seeing out of the United States consistently from the leader is very chaotic. So I think that's why we as municipal leaders need to be standing in solidarity with our premiers and with our prime minister as well to try to at sometimes respond and at other times certainly to take a defensive and protective position for our interests.
On a less somber note, EPC voted today on a deal to develop land near Winnipeg's airport. So what's the plan there?
Winnipeg's airport wants to develop land north of Saskatchewan Avenue as soon as the city finishes putting in regional water mains and sewers. Now, sources at City Hall say the development is a proposed maintenance facility for WestJet Airlines. This isn't a done deal, as WestJet says it's talking to a number of Canadian airports.
So Bartley, the city and the province are squabbling over money yet again. What's happening this time?
City finance officials say the province reneged on $5.5 million worth of funding commitments. The city says they got the word in December 2025 about projects approved a year earlier. The city says the province didn't agree or didn't approve $2.5 million for road safety, $2.5 million for splash pads, and $500,000 for a new fire paramedic station in Waverly West.
Instead, they decided, not in our budget, that $5 million was going to go towards an animal hospital at Assiniboine Park and $500,000 towards the roof project at St. Boniface Museum.
The province did not respond to a request for comment on this. Meanwhile, another member of EPC chastised the province today for not spending more on Winnipeg Transit. The ridership was down late last year, and Public Works Chair Janice Lukes says more money is needed to make transit better and get more people out of cars.
We know that greenhouse gas emission is from transportation. If we get more people out of cars on buses, that's going to work. But our system needs a good shot of funding.
The province says it is funding transit infrastructure, including a new garage slated for land near Oak Point Highway. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Bartley Kivas. The provincial government is giving the city of Brandon about $1 million for 3 big infrastructure projects. The funding will help the city deal with a budget shortfall. And as CBC's Michelle McDougall shows you, it's not the first time the province has come to Brandon's rescue.
Premier Wab Kinew pledged $1 million to go towards 3 projects in the city of Brandon, easing the pressure on taxpayers as Brandon's mayor and council prepare to debate next year's budget and tax increase. The first project is an overhaul of the parking lot here at the city's Sportsplex. The second is change room and washroom upgrades at Andrews Baseball Field. And third, consolidating waste and recycling at the Eastview landfill. This isn't the first time the province has come through with funding around tax time. Last year, the province made a similar contribution as councillors were considering a tax increase. While this year's increase is not yet set in stone, Brandon Mayor Jeff Fawcett estimates taxpayers are facing about an 8% increase, lower than the double-digit hike the city was considering just a few weeks ago.
There's 3 projects, and they're all one-off, one-time costs that are in our budget. The province is covering those, so they're removed from the budget, so they reduce the tax base for this year.
Officials here say the 2 projects at the sports facilities will benefit tourism, bringing more tournaments and events to the city. Michelle McDougall, CBC News, Brandon.
Meantime, Canada's largest indoor farm show has begun in Brandon. Ag Days features hundreds of agricultural displays at the Keystone Centre. It's expected to draw close to 40,000 people over the next 3 days. This year's theme is Produced on the Prairies. The event comes exactly 1 year since Donald Trump returned to office. His presidency has sent shockwaves through Canada, threatening tariffs against key sectors, including agriculture. Farmers say they remain concerned.
Big concerns are that it's not getting better, right? Trump, you never know which way he's going to pivot. The one good thing is Canada has started to look elsewhere for markets.
Recently, Canada struck a deal with China to reduce tariffs on some Canadian canola products. A warning now, this next story contains details about child sexual abuse. A Brandon foster parent has pleaded guilty to all charges, including making child pornography. The man also ran a daycare with his common-law partner out of their home. He was arrested in February last year after police were tipped off by the National Child Exploitation Crime Centre. The Crown says police obtained subscriber information from internet service providers without a warrant. That was based on the grounds that action was needed immediately by law enforcement. However, by pleading guilty, he cannot argue for any evidence to be excluded. He's expected to be sentenced in March. As Winnipeg shivers in dangerous cold, local outreach organizations are working to keep people warm. With temperatures this extreme, frostbite or hypothermia is at an increased risk. Local nonprofit One Just City says it's able to offer shelter to about 30 people at its warming center in Osborne Village every night until the end of March. But the group says it's in need of more winter gear.
Especially during the cold weather, like we're looking for like thermal wear clothing, as well as thicker socks and gloves especially. There is such a high need right now for gloves, hats, scarves, just anything that we can, offer them.
Other organizations like the Downtown Community Safety Partnership has teams out in the cold looking for people who are underdressed or struggling. If you spot someone in need, DCSP says to call. All right, Riley's in now. And Riley, it has been dangerously cold for days, and that cold weather definitely coming back.
Yeah, we're looking at a really deep dive in temperatures, Brittany, as we get into the coming days. Looking at forecast temperatures first, and I'm going to show you the map of North America here because this is adding some context in just how far south we're going to see some of these temperatures. So into Wednesday, looking at highs around -30 into parts of northern Manitoba. We'll talk about a cold warning already in place, but as we get into the day on Thursday, you can start to see some of that colder air slipping further south, and this pattern holds into the weekend with temperatures staying around the -27, -28 mark for parts of Saskatchewan through Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, and into the weekend, looking at temperatures even as far south as parts of Tennessee, into parts of Mississippi and northern Texas even, looking at temperatures some 10 to 15 degrees below seasonal. So already an orange level cold warning for Tadoule Lake and Brochet. We're looking at wind chill values -45 to -50 for at least the next 3 days. And we'll throw some wind onto this as well as we get through the day on Wednesday. Gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour from the Narrows right down to Portage la Prairie and into south central parts of the province, Brittany. So we are in for some very cold and very windy conditions, and I'll go into all the details when I come back.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
How staffing shortages are hitting some Manitoba hospitals. Next. stretched beyond the breaking point. That's how the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals is describing the situation for respiratory therapists at some Manitoba hospitals. The reason? Staffing shortages. The CBC's Alana Cole explains.
Respiratory therapists can be part of the team in hospital treating patients in some of the most critical moments. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says staffing shortages are taking a toll, a reality Cherie Jigolik knows.
There's no prioritizing of acuity because everything is at max acuity when you're looking at the patients that we deal with. There is some variance where we can make a logical choice, but a lot of times we're just trying to figure out how we can get from one critical incident to the other one that's pending, especially if we don't have enough staff to be at two critical situations at the same time. So it can be overwhelming.
She says she's been a respiratory therapist at St. Boniface Hospital for 35 years.
Usually most people don't see us in the hospital. We are only there in the most dire of situations.
The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says vacancy rates for the profession have reached dangerous levels at St. Boniface Hospital, Health Sciences Centre, and the Grace Hospital.
They're in a crisis mode right now, and I agree that it is come the time where the public needs to know why their experience is what it is.
The association wants to see more money for people working in emergency and intensive care and incentives for those working full-time and students in training. Shared Health says it's looking at their data and working on a response. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
In a late statement, Manitoba's health minister says respiratory therapists are critical to patient care. They also say the province's focus is on rebuilding the workforce through training, recruitment, and long-term workforce planning. The province says it lost 17 respiratory therapists in the last 5 years of the previous government. A fierce advocate for improving the health of Indigenous people in this province has died. Dr. Barry Lavallee passed away unexpectedly. Lavallee was a prominent Indigenous physician who's been called a visionary leader for First Nations people. Most recently, he served as CEO of a healthcare organization that supports 23 northern Manitoba First Nations. The group says he spoke up for those who couldn't and was fearless in his advocacy for people who faced injustice and harm. Well, the book is almost closed on a regional library system in southeast Manitoba. As CBC's Christopher Garreau reports, when it comes to the future of literacy in the region, no one's on the same page.
It's the final chapter for a regional library in southeastern Manitoba. Out of 18 municipalities invited to join forces to increase library access and gain more provincial funding for their 111,000 residents, only Steinbach and Niverville confirmed they might still support the idea. Steinbach's Jacob Library is the largest library in southeast Manitoba, visited by people throughout the region. But the city is the only municipality funding it. Its mayor says everyone would benefit if others joined them.
Literacy is just incredibly important in our world today. Basically, if you can read and you know how you learn, there's nothing you can't do, right? Because you can teach yourself what you need to know.
The more municipalities in a library system, the more funding the province provides. In Steinbach, when the formula kicks in, the province now matches funding at 25%. It would double that if Steinbach could convince at least 2 other communities to join in a regional library. If at least 10 work together, that amount triples. The arm of Rashad voted against having its 3 libraries join because it wanted bilingualism guaranteed. Council is now trying to start a separate bilingual regional library.
So what would stop you from buying French books?
Nothing, but when it's developed as a regional library, if those guarantees aren't there that it's going to be bilingual, that bilingualism isn't supported, then we're just going to kind of pump the brakes on that a little bit and reevaluate.
Hanover is Manitoba's most populated RM, but has no library. It gives cash to those who choose to pay for a Steinbach membership. But Reeve Jim Funk says joining a regional library funded per capita didn't make financial sense without having its own buildings. And he doesn't think there's enough demand from residents to start finding library space. CBC reached out to all 18 municipalities. Only Niverville confirmed it's still considering joining Steinbach's Reading Circle. Niverville opened a volunteer-run library that uses donated books, but is looking to upgrade its programming. Steinbach and Niverville will vote this month on whether to move forward with creating a regional library on their own. But they'd still need a third member to join their book club to access more provincial funding. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
Riley is back in now. And Riley, if people are looking to get outside, maybe enjoy the winter weather, today, tomorrow, probably the best days to do it, because I already snuck a peek ahead, and let me tell you, or let you tell them, it is not looking great.
Yeah, if you have any outdoor activities planned, especially into the weekend, Brittany, really bundle up, take precautions, because, I mean, you can still enjoy the winter weather if you prepare for it. I'm going to start with the upper level pattern, because this is really what's going to drive the cold air as we get through the next several days here. So you can see that cold pocket of Arctic air over the Hudson Bay coast. That's what's going to start pushing temperatures down as we get through the day tomorrow for northern parts of the province. For the south, though, we're actually closer to seasonal as we get through the day tomorrow. It's once we start to see temperatures into the early morning hours on Thursday that we'll really start to see some of that really cold air setting in place. And you can see the pinks and sort of some of these whiter colors. That's some of that coldest air, some of that coldest Arctic air from this ridge really starting to push in to the southern prairies, into northwestern Ontario as we get through Thursday. And this pattern really holding in place as we get even into the weekend, looking at temperatures remaining well below seasonal for this time of the year. Usually you should be at about -13 for daytime highs. Into the weekend, I'm looking at daytime highs -26, -27 in southern parts of the province. We do start to see things lifting slightly as we get into early next week, but still remaining below seasonal as we get into the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. So it's not till we get into later next week that I'm really looking at any substantial relief from some of the cold weather. There is a bit of precipitation coming along with this. And some wind as well, which I'll talk about here. So as we advance into Wednesday morning, a few flurries can be expected. I'm not talking any major accumulations, but certainly a dusting possible, particularly into southwestern parts of the province. As we get overnight into Wednesday morning, a few flurries, I think likely in Winnipeg overnight into the day tomorrow. But then in behind that, the wind picks up substantially. So perhaps a few more flurries through the day tomorrow. Fairly slim chance of that, and then high pressure sets in and really clears us out as we get toward the weekend. Again, the story tomorrow is certainly going to be the winds. So we have those blowing snow advisories in place for Portage into south central parts of the province. That's because as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, winds will start to pick up northwest 30, gusting to 50 or even 60 kilometers an hour at times. So that could make driving on the Trans-Canada, Highway 75, Highway 2, Highway 3, some of the more open highways a bit on the tricky side as we get through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Just because of that skiff of snow coming, combine that with a lot of wind, we're looking at blowing snow, visibility issues, some drifting snow certainly possible as we get through the afternoon hours tomorrow. So again, tomorrow, fairly seasonal, -14 in Winnipeg, -17s, -18s into the west, and temperatures starting to slip into the -30s by the afternoon for northern Manitoba. Then look at these temperatures, Brittany, into the weekend, -27s right into Saturday. But lots of sunshine as we head into the weekend as well.
All right, bundle up or stay inside.
Exactly.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
And here's a look at the Leaf at Assiniboia Park as we head to break. More to come straight ahead. Prime Minister Mark Carney is making international headlines for what he said Tuesday in Davos, Switzerland. It was a hard-hitting address to the World Economic Forum and a thinly veiled broadside against the U.S. The CBC's Ashley Burke has details.
The Prime Minister delivering a provocative speech, declaring that the rules that have governed global affairs for decades are effectively dead.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Mark Carney telling business and political leaders in Davos that Canada has to accept a world where big powers are using economic might to coerce.
The middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
Carney not naming the U.S., but sending a clear message, saying it's time to criticize economic intimidation no matter what.
It means acting consistently, applying the same standards to allies and rivals.
The Prime Minister aligning himself with European allies during Donald Trump's latest economic threat against those resisting his bid to take over Greenland.
Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland.
How are you? I'm fine.
While in Davos, Carney spoke with two key allies, Britain and France, countries on the front lines of Trump's latest tariff threat after sending small contingents of troops to Greenland, viewed as a show of support.
Prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to plotism. And we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
The Foreign Affairs Minister asked if Canada will do the same to support sovereignty exercises the Danes are planning.
Regarding future deployments and future exercises, those are decisions that the Minister of National Defence makes together with the Chief of Defence Staff.
For all of his bluntness, Carney seemed to do everything to ensure that he didn't directly name Donald Trump in his speech. The U.S. president is expected to deliver his own address here on Wednesday, just as Carney is expected to leave. The Prime Minister's office says that so far there is no meeting scheduled between the two leaders. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Davos, Switzerland.
Other world leaders slammed Donald Trump's expansionist foreign policy at the World Economic Forum. Anna Cunningham has more on their reactions.
There is a united message coming from European leaders on Greenland as they really scramble to get their voices heard ahead of the arrival of US President Donald Trump in Davos Wednesday. Now, we've heard from the French President Emmanuel Macron. He's made clear that tariffs are unacceptable, especially when, he said, used as leverage against territorial sovereignty. Take a listen to some of what he said in Davos.
Not to totally forget what we learned from the Second World War and remain committed to cooperation. And this is also because of those principles that we have decided to join the mutual exercise in Greenland without threatening anyone, but just supporting an ally and another European country, Denmark.
Any European nation troops on exercise in Greenland are, he said, not threatening anyone. Clearly a message directed at President Trump. The Danish Defence Minister, we know, has already said that military exercises are to strengthen their ability to operate in the region, with Arctic security a priority. And the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, has made her view clear. Speaking to the Danish Parliament earlier, she said, if anyone starts a trade war against us, we must respond. The European Union's Foreign Policy Chief, Kaja Kallas, speaking in Strasbourg, has echoed this. Take a listen.
Greenland belongs to its people. No threat or tariffs will change that. Sovereignty is not for trade. The European Union stands without doubt with Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark in defence of their territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Davos has already seen some protests ahead of the arrival of US President Donald Trump Wednesday. Just like Canada, Britain will be watching closely. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
Despite the chorus of international leaders speaking out Tuesday against the U.S. threats against Greenland, President Donald Trump later made it clear he's not backing down during a White House press briefing.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Later in the news conference, Trump said he has many meetings scheduled with world leaders in Davos, which he leaves for tonight. But earlier, Trump had posted 2 images to his social media site, one showing an AI image of the president planting an American flag on Greenland with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio behind him. Another shows a doctored image of European leaders meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, with a map in the background showing Venezuela, Greenland, and Canada covered by the U.S. flag. Israel has torn down buildings that had housed United Nations offices in East Jerusalem. Staff at the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency had to vacate the structures last year after Israel ordered them out. The CBC's senior correspondent, Sasha Petrusik, has details from the site.
The bulldozers arrived early this morning, escorted by Israeli police, and they started to destroy the UNRWA compound. That is the main UN agency that takes care of Palestinian refugees anywhere in this region. Israel has maintained that UNRWA, this agency in particular, has been infiltrated by Hamas, that many of the people who were involved in the attack on October 7th in fact, were UNRWA employees. So the UN did investigate. It got rid of some 9 employees, but the rest continued to work. It continued to try to do its work. But since last year, Israel passed laws which effectively made it impossible for UNRWA to continue, and this was the result. Now, the UN insists that this territory is protected under international law. Israel does not see it that way. And one of the people watching this morning, watching this demolition, was a cabinet minister from Israel who's been pushing this exact strategy against the UN to get the UN out of here, Itamar Ben-Gvir. This is what he had to say. Now, the head of UNRWA, who has been fighting to keep this building up and to keep the agency operating, he said this was a new level of open and deliberate defiance of international law. Israel insists that this land belongs to it, that legally the agency has been kicked out. Over the past while, it has in fact cut off relations with 33 UN agencies, 33 other international agencies, including NGOs, accusing all of them of being too sympathetic of Hamas and effectively making it very difficult for them to operate, especially in Gaza, but it's also affecting Palestinians here in East Jerusalem as well. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News in East Jerusalem.
CBC News has learned the Canadian government will soon reveal its new auto policy, and it's expected to give preferential treatment to foreign automakers who build their cars in Canada. As Jason Vio reports, that's something industry experts have been calling for years.
We have needed one for decades. It's essential now that we have one.
And one is in the works from the federal government. A source tells CBC News a Canadian auto policy is expected to be released next month. In it, they say the feds will give preferential access to foreign car makers who make vehicles in this country. Experts say this will help set the tone for how Canada wants its auto industry to look amid all the uncertainty with the U.S.
Because every time you turn around, our friends in Washington do something different, change their mind, put on a new tariff, take off an old tariff.
Now, the Canadian government has taken a bit of a different road compared to the U.S. last week, announcing it will let 49,000 Chinese-made EVs into the country with just a 6.1% tariff. That's down from 100%. And that has local unions on edge. They, too, are pushing for an auto policy immediately because Canadian jobs are on the line.
It was for every car sold here, you had to build one here. And you had to build a percentage of the parts here. So that's why we have all this industry. This is why we have the Toyotas and the Hondas that came in later on, because they knew the market was valuable.
The idea of an auto policy isn't a new one. Canada had an auto pact with the U.S. from 1965 until 2001, which is when the World Trade Organization said it was illegal. Unifor wants a version of that policy back.
In the times we're in, it's very important because you just don't know what's going to happen from day to day. I'll wake up in the morning and then all of a sudden I get my phone starts blowing up, and it's because there's a decision that was made just by using words, let alone not even have anything on paper.
It's unclear when next month this auto policy may be announced or what more will be in it. The federal government didn't respond to our request for a comment on the record, but auto expert Peter Fries says the policy needs to include language around vehicle assembly, auto parts, logistics, the use of Canadian materials, and the use of workers in this country to help both build and design the vehicles. Jason Vio, CBC News, Windsor.
It's a home away from home for local children and youth here in Winnipeg, and today it turns 50. We'll take a look at how Rossbrook House has evolved throughout the years after this short break. An organization that's been a safe haven for children and youth in Winnipeg's inner city for decades is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Rossbrook House has evolved from a drop-in center to an Indigenous-led organization offering meals and programs to hundreds of kids each year. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel brings us more.
There's me there, there's me here. I think we were doing a photography class somewhere.
Patty Mainville first came to the drop-in center at Rossbrook House in 1982, only 6 years after it opened. Until then, she'd bounced around cities across Canada and the United States.
It felt like I had landed finally and stabilized at that time. So our family stayed in Winnipeg, so Rossbrook was my home away from home.
Rossbrook House was founded on January 20th in 1976 by Sister Geraldine McNamara and a group of nuns and young people. It opened in this old church on Ross Avenue.
When we say it takes a village, it truly took a village for a lot of these kids.
Mainville was one of the first to graduate from Rossbrook's new high school program at the time. Now she's at the helm of the organization on its 50th anniversary. The cross is gone, and Mainville says their mission of being a safe haven for children and youth hasn't changed, only expanded, now under Indigenous leadership.
The sisters were always doing reconciliation acts, even before it was known. Or it was spoke about. Over the last few years, of course, now being Indigenous-led, we're able to enhance the cultural programs.
The drop-in center now sees up to 100 kids a day. The organization also offers schooling, music and sports programs, a young moms group, and as of this month, a young dads group too.
A lot of our younger moms, the fathers are also participants here, and that was something that was missing. So now we're able to fill that gap.
Operations manager Justine Caradang also came to Rossbrook when she was young. She says the organization offered her community, confidence and discipline, and hopes it does the same for others for years to come.
We're hoping to go another 50 or 100.
You can see the impact it has in the life of children.
They say those benefits will continue to ripple out to communities and families, like it did for them. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Riley back in now. And Riley, as much as we've been saying, make sure you bundle yourself up during these cold temperatures, we can't forget about our pets. And we know that the dogs have got to go outside. So booty season is in full effect.
Yeah, probably, especially as we get toward the weekend, Brittany, some quick peas out, quick back run inside again, because, yes, temperatures are going to take a real steep dive into some very winter-like weather as we get toward the weekend here. So let's start with the dog walking forecast. And our dog tonight, a feature of, I guess, the warmer weather, certainly a favorite for Vincent, but you know what? Vincent has got the booties on, ready for anything with the sweater as well. Thank you, Cheryl, for sending this picture in. She says this one was taken on one of the warmer days we've had this season so far. So I hope, Vincent, you're ready for some chilly walks to come here as we get into the coming days. So as we get into the day tomorrow, the story will certainly be the wind as we get toward the afternoon. Inside the city, more like 20 gusting to 40, but just outside the city, I think Headingley, Portage la Prairie, up Highway 6, certainly the possibility of seeing some gusts up to 70 or even 80 kilometers an hour as we get into the afternoon and the evening. So anywhere we do see some of that snowfall or some of that light flurry activity, the potential there of seeing some reduced visibility and some blowing snow. Instead of taking a look at the roof cam tonight, thought we'd head outside the city for a quick look. First at Highway 6 at the Fairford Dam there. Not a lot to see, but there is cloudy skies into parts of the Interlake and a few flurries that have been pushing through the region as we've gotten into the early evening hours here. And Highway 1 at Headingley, things looking quite clear there at the moment. Temperature around -20 at the moment. So yeah, just to prepare for, particularly into Headingley, pushing west down the Trans-Canada, some blowing or some drifting snow as we get into the afternoon hours tomorrow. Temperatures at the airport right now, -19 in Winnipeg, -17 in Brandon, closer to -14 in Swan River right now. And we're starting to get some of that cooler air starting to push in to parts of northern Manitoba, Churchill to Dooley Lake, both at -26. Northwestern corner of the province is where we have that cold warning of the orange level in place. This because because of the prolonged nature of this cold snap as we get into the coming days here. So overnight temperatures, these are more like evening temperatures. The Red River Valley will bottom out around -20 and start to rise slightly as we get through the overnight hours. A few flurries really pretty much across the south overnight tonight. Looking at temperatures closer to -20 in Grand Rapids, Norway House, Thompson -24. Things clear as we get through the day tomorrow, barely getting out of -30 territory along the Hudson Bay coast, -28 in Churchill by the afternoon. Maybe a few stray flurries, particularly along the lakes as we get through the day tomorrow. And we're looking at temperatures around -14 or so. This will be our warmest day in the next 7 days, Brittany. We'll talk about that 7-day forecast when I come back in just a bit.
All right. Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
How do you talk to your kids about the state of the world, from climate change and economic uncertainty to most recently news coming out of America? Whether it's what's happening in the U.S. with ICE agents, the takeover of Venezuela, or the threats to Greenland, it can seem scary for many people, and having those conversations with your kids can be challenging. Matthew Johnson is the Director of Education from Media Smarts and joins me now. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Matthew, let's start with what's been happening in the most recent weeks. There have been several videos on social media about what's happening in Minneapolis. What is the best way to start having that conversation about what's happening with our kids?
Really, the best way is to have an ongoing conversation with your kids about everything that they're experiencing through media. Obviously, what they're doing with their friends, video games that they're playing, things that they're making, but that includes news as well. It's really best, as much as possible as parents, for us to listen more than we speak, to get a sense of what our kids already know. But it is helpful to ask them every now and then when there is something that is dominating the news or something that you think might be upsetting. Start by asking them what they've heard, either from their friends or from the news or social media about it.
So some parents might be fearful of even starting that conversation simply because they don't have all the answers. What do you say to them?
It's a great opportunity to find out information with our kids, which can be really helpful because when you let them take the lead a little bit, then you get a sense of what they already know. You get a sense of the media environment that they're in. You find out where they're getting their news, whether it is coming firsthand, whether it's coming secondhand. You get a sense of who they're looking to as a source of news, what steps they're taking to find news, and you're also modeling the idea that we are lifelong learners.
There are a lot of polarizing positions, opinions, and feelings. So what is the best way to make sure that we are fostering those healthy conversations?
It's really important, as always, to listen with respect. When our kids maybe have positions that we disagree with, it's important to understand where those are coming from. And again, that's why it's so valuable to look at where they're getting their information and to think critically about where we're getting our own information. Again, this is where it really helps to have a sense of what makes a news source reliable, to help kids understand the processes that a legitimate news source goes through. So that, for instance, if they are getting their news from independent news sources, that's not necessarily to say that they're not reliable, but it does mean that they have to make sure that those independent news sources are going through the same processes, that they have the same kinds of standards that a reliable news outlet has.
And Matthew, how do you know if it's time to seek out more support? If that parent says, I feel out of my depth here, or the conversation just maybe is going in a totally different direction and maybe people are losing all sense of the ability to continue having that conversation?
One thing we all need to know is that it is okay to unplug for a while. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of young people say they turn away from news, why younger Canadians do consume less news than older people. Because in many cases they find the news to be relentlessly negative. So giving yourself permission to turn off for a little while, to say for a little while, I'm not going to feel like I need to be caught up with everything. I've seen enough of this story for now. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Giving ourselves that permission, giving our kids that permission is actually essential to be able to follow the news and maintain our emotional equilibrium.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Coming up, Russia gets hit by a record snowfall, burying buildings with meters of accumulation. The unique ways some are trying to cope and even enjoy the weather. That's coming up next. The Winnipeg Jets have released its initial roster for the 2026 alumni game. And some fan favorites are set to return to the ice. Blake Wheeler will be joined by Andrew Ladd, Brian Little, Matthew Perreault, and Dustin Byfuglien. Chris Thorburn and Paul Stastny round out the team so far. They'll take on the Montreal Canadiens alum, led by former captain and Winnipegger Mike Keane, with Manitoban Dale Weiss on the team. The outdoor game is set for October as part of the Heritage Classic weekend.
All right, let's have a look at your 7-day forecast. You know, we are looking at some cooler temperatures, but, you know, that's pretty good news, I think, for the outdoor rinks, the river trails, to get a good freeze going. So, yeah, I mean, we are looking at a lot of sunshine as we get toward the weekend, but these temperatures, yeah, could be a little better. Minus 27s right through Saturday, minus 23 into Sunday. Slim chance of seeing a few flurries as we get through the day on Monday. That's really the only measurable precipitation I see in the forecast for the next week or so here for southern Manitoba, and temperature at around minus 17 with a mix of sun and clouds into Tuesday. Dress for it. It's not that bad. Well, Canadians know that heavy snow can totally inconvenience you, but it can also be dangerous at times.
Yeah. But here's a reality check from Russia, where locals on the Kamchatka Peninsula also found a way to get over themselves and make it as fun as possible. Their storm is our daily lift. Oh my goodness. When the snow piles up to nearly 4 meters, yep, you heard that, 4 meters, there's always a chance for a lively tumble while trying to see if the local cafe is open. The snow has been piling up since early December there, but a series of storms in the last few weeks pushed records aside, buried doors and staircases, and yes, cars.
That looks like fun. There's so much snow, there's nowhere left to put it all. So residents have decided, well, you know, let's just play with it. Let's have fun with this instead. Though others have been left with a daunting task of trying to get through it all. As astonishing as it is to look at now, the inevitable melt, Brittany, come spring will be a bit of a mess here.
Oh my goodness.
Have fun with it.
Right? It could always be worse. That's what we're thinking here in Manitoba.
Exactly.
So we don't have that much.
If you're going to slide 4 meters down into the cafe, I'd hope it would be open.
Right? Let's
So I'd really like that cup of coffee.
Have a great night. Stay safe out there.
See ya.